What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's NFL DFS lineup generator for the Week 9 main slate on FanDuel. If you're looking for DraftKings lineups, I've already made that video. It's published on the Stokastic YouTube channel already. Here, we're just looking at some FanDuel lineups. While you're coming in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. If you haven't signed up for the lineup generator yet, the link is in the description of this video, and it's just $14.95 per week. With that $14.95, you're getting both DraftKings and FanDuel. You're getting the main slates. You're getting every primetime showdown slate. All of that included in the lineup generator. So fantastic deal. And the lineup generator, these are all lineups that have been run through these Stokastic sims. Any bad lineup has been thrown out. Only long-term profitable lineups remain in the lineup generator. Really powerful tool for just $14.95 per week. So check it out if you haven't already done so. Link in the description. We're going to look at some FanDuel main slate lineups here. And I'm going to do all stack types, all lineup types. So we're getting a mix of chalky, balanced, contrarian lineups here. First lineup we get to is a CJ Stroud stack with Nico Collins and also Devin Singletary. If you want to include him in the stack, we got a double stack Stroud, Singletary, Collins. We got Alvin Kamara in there, Michael Pittman Jr., Jacoby Myers, Mark Andrews, Michael Thomas, and Patriots defense rounding out this lineup. We're using close to the full salary cap, just 300 under it, projecting for just under 107 fantasy points, 109% total ownership. So you can see here it's on the chalkier end of the spectrum, but not extremely chalky. And we do have some low owned pieces in, Stroud is just 8%. We've got 6% owned Jacoby Myers. We've got 7% owned Michael Thomas. So some lower owned pieces in this lineup. Looks like a nice one. No bring back on the stack noted. All right, let's take a look at our next lineup. Jalen Hurts double stack with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert in this one. We've got Tony Pollard and Brandon Cooks on the bring back on a relatively ugly slate, not a ton of high scoring games. The Eagles-Cowboys game does have the highest total, I believe, last I checked, on the slate. So it makes sense to have some lineups where you're just going all in on the stack. This one we have 5 players from that game. Again, it's Hurts, Smith, Goddard, Pollard, and Cooks. Not sure how easy it would be to pay up for AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb in a 5-man stack from this game, but just a full-on games onslaught here. We got Josh Jacobs in this one, Adam Thielen, Chuba Hubbard, and the Seahawks defense also making it in here. As you can see here, it's on the chalky end of the spectrum. 120% total ownership. Projects similar to the last one, around 107 fantasy points. Uses almost the full salary. Let's take a look at one more lineup, and then we'll see our exposures if we save all of our lineups. Another Jalen Hurts stack. This one is actually another game stack. This one just 4 players instead of 5, but still, we got Hurts with AJ Brown, and then we have Tony Pollard and Jake Ferguson from the Cowboys. So still really stacking up that game. Josh Jacobs in this one as well. We've got Chris Godwin in this lineup. DJ Chark at 1.5% ownership. Gus Bus 11% ownership, and then Cardinals defense at just 2% ownership as well. This one projects 107 fantasy points. So all 3 of these have been right around 107 fantasy points. Uses almost a full salary, 117% total ownership. And you can see it's on the chalky end of the spectrum. Let's see, I'm going to save kind of slowly and see if I can find one that jumps to like the middle or to the right end of the range. See if we can find a more contrarian lineup. Just get an idea of what the good contrarian lineups look like. A lot of chalk in this one. We had one that was close to the middle. I was hoping for something a little bit more contrarian. Maybe that's not. Okay, here we go. Right in the middle. Derek Carr, Chris Olave, Saints defense all in this one. Kind of interesting. Just a single stack there for Derek Carr. We got Josh Jacobs, Kareem Hunt, 3% ownership at 7,000 on FanDuel. Puka Nacua in 9% of lineups. Mike Evans, 11%. Dalton Schultz, 11%. Chuba Hubbard, 11%. So nobody who's super chalky. Only, Derek Carr, relatively low owned. Kareem Hunt, kind of contrarian. So some contrarian options here, but right in the middle of the range, chalky to contrarian. Still projects for about 107 fantasy points. Total ownership under 100%. Uses basically the full salary. So that's what a more contrarian plus EV lineup looks like on this slate. All right, now I'm just going to go through and save the rest so we can see our exposures. All right, we got to 53% Josh Jacobs in our lineups, 45% Zay Flowers at just 6.1K. That's pretty cheap on FanDuel. 38% Tony Pollard. He's cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, which generally players are more expensive on FanDuel. So shows you how good of a value Pollard looks like on FanDuel. We got Kamara, 35%, Lamar Jackson and Dalton Schultz at 30%, Demario Douglas at 28%, and then a bunch of players rounding out in the lineup set. So we have some, higher exposed players, but tons of players represented in these 40 lineups that we got here on FanDuel. If you haven't checked out the lineup generator, once again, the link is in the description of this video. I always recommend you want to run it as close to lock as possible. So I'm recording this video on Saturday, but if you want the best lineups, you really want to run it for yourself right before lock, after you get inactives, before the early games on Sunday is really when you want to run the lineup generator. So I'd recommend signing up for yourself. Use the link in the description. $14.95 per week. Run it, within an hour and a half of the start of the games. After we get those early inactives is probably the best time to run the lineup generator. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck this weekend.